सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। श्लोक नंबर 16। अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच आब्रह्म भुवनान् लोकाः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् अहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः रात्रिं युगसहस्रान्ताम् देहोरात्रविदो जनाः। अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्त्यहरागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसंज्ञके भूतग्रामः स एवायम् भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यहरागमे। So we are in the 8th chapter of Bhavagad Gita, and the 8th chapter has got one speciality, and that is it talks about the topic of Krama Mukti. Generally we talk about Sadhyo Mukti. Sadhyo Mukti means freedom in this life, discovery of oneself to be limitless. That is the Sadhyo Mukti which is generally talked about. But there is a particular way of getting this moksha finally by Jnanam, but in stages, and which is very popular among the Dvaitis and Vishishta Advaiti, and that is you do upasana meditation in this life very intensely. Not that only 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour you do upasana morning, half an hour evening, not that. Whole day your mind remains in that thought about the Paramatma with the help of Omkara. And because of this upasana, a person goes to Brahmaloka, which can also be looked upon as a Vaikuntha. We are not particular about the name. Somebody said, no, no, I believe in Vaikuntha, I don't believe in Brahmaloka. Okay, you call it Vaikuntha Loka. Same. Some people call this place ashram, some people call Gurukulam. Place remains the same, whatever you call it. So, people, those upasakas, those meditators, reach that Brahmaloka. But to reach there is not that easy. Person has to leave this body in a particular way. He has to gather the prana to the heart, raise the prana to the Brahmarandra, and from there take up. Then person goes to Brahmaloka if he has done sufficient upasana. And there, in that Brahmaloka, he gets the Jnanam. There, after going there, Brahmaji gives the Jnanam, or Vishnu gives the Jnanam. What? You are Brahma. That person will be surprised. The same thing my teacher was telling, but I did not listen. Same thing. See, certain things in India we don't buy, but when we go abroad, same thing we'll buy. Certain cameras are made here, they are exported, export quality. So, same Brahma Jnanam which was being given here right next door, but that was neglected. Sometimes we have to go away to understand the value of the things available. So many people, when they were in India, they were not attending Vedanta class. But when they went abroad, they started attending. Something like that. So in Brahma Loka, they attend Jnana. And by that Jnanam, they become free. Finally, Jnana Deva Moksha. In that particular Siddhanta, that principle, there is no compromise whatsoever. Whether you get Jnanam here or you get Jnanam in Brahma Loka, that much is the difference. Like some people will say, Swamiji, we should study this Vedanta in deep Himalayas. So here they are not interested. They will go to this Gangotri, and there this Vedanta teaching is given. This, now there will be some impact. Some people were telling, Swamiji, we will go to Kurukshetra and study Bhagavad Gita. So really, the idea was there. So because here not so much impact, we always want some change. So this person goes to Brahmaloka and gets Jnanam, gets moksha. That is called Krama Muktihi. Attainment of Paramatma through knowledge in Brahmaloka, that is called Krama Mukti. And Bhagavan wants to say, attainment of me, Paramatma, is the highest goal compared to any other goal. Brahmaloka going itself is not the highest goal. In Brahmaloka you get Jnanam, that is the highest goal. That gives the highest goal. And that is said here by Bhagavan, Abrahma Bhuvanan Lokaha Punaravartinaha. Any place you go, you come back. Wherever, whichever loka you go to Bhuvar Loka, Suvar Loka, Mahar Loka, Jana Loka, Tapa Loka, and Brahma Loka. If you don't get Jnanam from Brahma Loka, also you come back. And thus, all the other loka, the attainment of all other lokas are limited. They are limited result. And how even Brahma Loka is limited, that is being presented in the 18th sloka, that all the living beings, they are avyaktat vyaktayas sarvaha prabhavanti aharagame. So when one day of Brahmaji comes, the one night of Brahmaji is over and the day of Brahmaji comes, then all the multitude of the living beings, they get manifested. Aharagame means on the arrival of the day. We have seen in the 17th sloka that 1000 Chatur Yuga is equal to 12 hours of Brahmaji. We have seen the relative nature of time. And we calculated that 311 trillion years is the life of Brahmaji. Alright. So Brahmaji's day is very, very long, When that is over, then all the jivas are merging into unmanifest state. And when the day of Brahmaji starts, when Brahmaji gets up, all other living beings also get up. So that is said here, Aharagame, on the arrival of the day of Brahmaji, Avyaktayah Sarvaha, Avyaktad Vyaktayah Sarvaha Prabhavanti. So all the individuals are manifesting from the unmanifest. And then Ratragame, when the night of Brahmaji comes, Praliyante, all the jivas with their upadhi, they are resolved. Where? Tatra eva, in that avyakta sanyake, in that unmanifest state. So what is the lot of jiva? Lot of jiva is, the situation for jiva is, during the Srishti Kala, they are taking different bodies. And when the pralaya comes, they are merged into avyakta, which is called Maya. And when the Srishti Kala comes, again they get manifested. And this type of situation is beginningless. It is not that one time person goes through the cycle and it is over. So person, the jivas, they become unmanifest, again become manifest, again become unmanifest. That idea is given in 19th shloka. Bhuta gramasya evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. Bhuta grama. Grama doesn't mean here village. Grama means multitude. Multitude of living beings. Saha eva, that which was there in the previous cycle. Saha eva ayam, this which is there available in this cycle, bhutva bhutva, having been born again and again, praliyate, are resolved. So these jivas, they are born and again resolved, again they are born. Ratrya game, at the time of the arrival of night, they are resolved, and aharagame, when the day comes, again prabhavati. Prabhavati means gets manifested. So manifest, unmanifest, again manifest. This is the situation of this jiva. And here one word is used. Hey Partha, hey Arjuna, avashaha, helpless. Jiva cannot say, I don't want to play this game. Bhagavan, enough. Now I don't want to take janma. You cannot order, you cannot command, or you cannot even will. But Swamiji, now onwards I don't want to take birth. You don't have choice. Avashaha. Avasha means helplessly. So these jivas are born helplessly. What makes jiva helpless? The karma. Punya papa account is there, vasanas are there, ignorance is there. All these are capital of jiva. Because of that, jiva keeps on moving. Like satellite, the broken satellite, they are moving in the atmosphere, in the air, or in space. Similarly, helplessly, jivas will be moving. Because of what? Punyam and papam. And punyam and papam are there because of this doership. Doership is there because of this aviveka, non-discrimination between atma and anatma. That is there because of ignorance. So ignorance causes the non-discrimination between the self and non-self, which causes the sense of doership, which causes this account of punya papa. In fact, which is maintaining the account of punya papa. And therefore, jiva is avashaha, helpless. Helplessly, jiva is getting manifested and becoming unmanifest. But here Shastra says that the entire this game is in the field of Maya, in the field of matter. The matter becomes manifest and unmanifest. So manifestation, unmanifestation is in the field of Maya. Consciousness which is there, which is making this Maya active, that consciousness is never affected, never becoming manifest and unmanifest. It is changeless. And so if you identify with this changeless consciousness, you are out of this cycle of becoming manifest and unmanifest. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. That cycle, if you want to get out, then you have to get out of this identification with this Maya and the product of Maya. So in the next shloka, Bhagavan is introducing that consciousness which is never affected even when manifestation and unmanifestation were happening. And that is in the 20th shloka. Parastasmattu bhavonyaha avyakto vyaktat sanatanaha. Generally, these two sentences are read together. Parastasmattu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha. Onyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha. Yassa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. So here Bhagavan introduces Avyakta number 2. There are two Avyakta. Avyakta number 1 is Maya, fundamental matter. Is called Avyakta because it is imperceptible. So Maya is imperceptible, therefore Maya, the fundamental matter, is called Avyakta. And this world is called what? Vyakta. The world which we are experiencing, including this body, book, everything, mountains, rivers, all of them, that is called Vyakta, the manifest. So during the period of creation, the world is available. And what is this world? Manifested Maya is the world. Maya, when it is manifesting, it is called the world. And the world is resolved, and the resolved state of the world is called Maya Avyakta. So, Maya, when it becomes Vyakta, manifest, it is called Jagat. And when Jagat, the world, becomes unmanifest, it is called Maya. So, Maya is unmanifest matter. So, Maya is matter only, fundamental matter, unmanifest matter. And the world is manifest matter. But both of them are what? Matter only. And that is we call Avyakta number 1. Avyakta number 1, which is material in nature and which is subject to change, which has got variety also, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So this Maya which is having the variety, Maya which is material in nature, Maya which is changing, is Avyakta number 1. There is another Avyakta. We can call Avyakta number 2, and that is consciousness. Consciousness is also called Avyakta. Why? Because it is never available for perception, objectification. Since it is never available for perception, objectification, that consciousness, existence consciousness, is also called Avyakta. We'll call it Avyakta number 2. And what is the difference between Avyakta number 1 and Avyakta 2? As we just now saw, Avyakta number 1 called Maya is material in nature, whereas Avyakta number 2 is consciousness in nature. It is of the nature of consciousness. Avyakta number 1 is subject to change, whereas Avyakta number 2 is changeless. And by attaining Avyakta number 1, you don't get moksha, whereas by attaining Avyakta number 2, you get moksha. So this is the difference, and that is said here. To, however, paraha tasmat avyaktat anyaha avyaktah bhava. Compared to avyaktat, avyakta number 1, Tasmat Avyakta, compared to that Avyakta number 1 in which the world is resolved, compared to that Avyakta number 1, there is Anyaha Paraha Avyaktaha. There is another Bhavaha, another entity which is also Avyaktaha. We call it Avyakta number 2. So compared to that Avyakta which is material in nature, there is another higher entity, the entity of higher degree of reality is there, which is Avyaktaha, which is also imperceptible. And it is Sanatanaha. Sanatanaha means everlasting. And everlasting and ever unmanifest. Whereas the Avyakta number 1 is sometime manifest and it becomes unmanifest. Unmanifest becomes manifest, manifest becomes unmanifest. Whereas this Avyakta number 2 is always Avyakta. It is never available for objectification. And therefore it is called Paraha Bhavaha Sanatanaha Avyaktaha. It is everlasting Avyakta, unmanifest, which is of the nature of consciousness. And that Avyakta number 2 we can call Maha Avyakta or Para Avyakta. The highest Avyakta reality is Saha, it is that Yaha which Sarveshu Bhuteshu Nashyatsu. When all living beings are Nashyatsu, perishing, disappearing into Maya, Na Vinashyati, is never destroyed. When the Jagat, which includes the body mind sense complex, is destroyed, means dissolved into Maya, that time also this Avyakta number 2, this Satchid Ananda Brahma, that is not destroyed. That remains unchanged. It doesn't become manifest and unmanifest. When Jagat becomes Maya, that time also is what? Avyakta. And when Maya becomes Jagat, that time also it is what? Avyakta. And that Avyakta, which is referring to Satchit Ananda Brahma, is imperishable, does not change, does not get destroyed. And this you can appreciate at the individual level also. This is talked about at the cosmic level, but individual level also you can appreciate. When this gross body and subtle body are resolved in the causal body, in Sushupti Avastha, in deep sleep state, that time consciousness, which is called Turiya Atma, continues to be the same. I, Sakshi, the witness consciousness, am available in the waking state when there is identification with the gross body. I, consciousness, am available in the dream state when the gross body is dropped, only subtle body is there. And when gross body and subtle body, both of them are dissolved into the causal body, that time also I, consciousness, continue to be there. In deep sleep state, I was very much there. Does anybody have doubt whether I was there, Swamiji, in Sushupti or not? You were there. Otherwise, you know what happens? When you tell what is your age, then you have to minus this many years. Because you were not there. Suppose you are 70-year-old, then 35-year minus, because 35 you were sleeping, you were not there. So like, in a office, in a this workplace, suppose you have taken 3 months break, then that much period is minus. Then you are there counting the leave, etc. So similarly, here you have to period, that much period, sleep period, we have to minus because I was not there. That is not the case. You were there. In fact, what do you say after you get up? I was sleeping. Like you are saying, I was walking, I was talking, I was eating. How you say? Means you were there very much. When you say I was walking, you were there or not? When you were walking, you were there. When you were talking, you were there. Similarly, when you say I am sleeping, you must be there to sleep. So you always are. So you, consciousness, always are. There is no fear of death for this consciousness. When you see yourself to be this consciousness, which is of the nature of existence, then you don't have fear of death. Now I am manifesting through this body, then I can manifest through another body, another body. And when all the bodies, when Videha Mukti comes, then I will be manifesting through the entire universe. That is what Pujya Swamiji said. When this body is gone, I will be available to everybody. What? When not that body is gone, I will be gone. He said, I will be available to everybody. There is a perpetuation of existence. So, when you see yourself to be this consciousness, what really you are, it is not a make believe, this is what really you are, then you do not have fear of death. Death is like changing the dress, is just medium of manifestation is changed. It is like the sun. It is reflected in one bucket of water. Then that water is removed to another bucket. The sun continues to be there. So all this body is like a bucket, and inside the subtle body is the water. So in that I am manifesting. Even this bucket is changed, water may go to another bucket. Or even bucket and water are not there. Still I, who am the consciousness like the sun, will continue to be. So there cannot be destruction of me, which is consciousness. In Jagrad Avastha I am, the waking state I am, dream state I am, this deep sleep state I am. I always am. So nashyatsu na vinashyati. When the bodies are coming and going, I do not die. And that Param Avyakta number 2 is further described in the next shloka. Avyaktoksara ityuktah tamahuh paramangatim yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. So Bhagavan says that Avyakta number 2, which is existence consciousness, is Aksharaha iti Ukta. That Avyakta number 2, ever unmanifest, ever unobjectifiable consciousness, Uktaha is called how? Aksharaha iti, as imperishable reality. In Mundaka Upanishad, it is there, Tathaksharat Sambhavatiha Vishwam. From the Akshara Tattva, this entire Vishwam has come. So the reality is referred to by the word Akshara. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Gargi etasmad Gargi etadaksharam aviditva asmat lokat preti sakrupana. So there also the reality is presented as Akshara. So in Shastra, the reality is presented by different words. Sometimes people get confused. Sometimes it's called Brahma, sometimes it's called Bhuma, sometimes it's called Paramatma, sometimes it's called Aksharam. Why different words are used? To reveal the nature of this ultimate reality from different angle. When we want to convey, when Shastra wants to convey that this reality is never subject to destruction, perishing, then the word used is Akshara. Naksharati iti Akshara. That which does not perish is called Akshara. So this reality is called Akshara. And tam ahuhu paramam gatim. To that Avyakta Paramatma alone, they declare as Paramam Gatim, the highest destination. We call it Parama Purushartha, the highest goal, highest destination. Why? Why it is highest destination? Yam prapya na nivartante. Having attained which people do not return. And also having attained which nothing remains to be attained. Otherwise in life what is happening? That every time we have got some goal. When we were children, we wanted to complete the education. That was our goal, getting degree. Once we got the degree, this was not over. We want a job. Then once we get a job, then our parents also will start thinking marriage. So now next goal is what? Marriage. Nowadays very difficult. Marriage is, people say all this, Swamiji, what to do? So marriage. And then after marriage, oh, for like 3-4 years have gone, children not there. Every time something is there. So always something remains to be attained. Whatever you attain, even you become the president of US. Do you think that this fellow is so restless? I want Iran to surrender. Want that? I want India to buy oil from us. We should not buy you. What is like children he is talking? So even after becoming the president of the US, do you think he is a happy person? How restless. So whatever be the position, whatever object, whatever person you get in your life, there is always something remains to be attained. In Hindi they say, ye dil mange more. So always you want something more. Ye dil mange more. And that is the case with all the purusharthas in life. Whether you get artha, the wealth, or it is a kama, pleasure, always the dil mange more. Dharma, punyam, you want more and more punyam. Only this moksha swarupa Paramatma, when you attain, then you do not have any other desire. Yam labdva na aparam labham manyate. And having attained which, na nivartante, person does not come back. Any other loka you go, to heaven a person goes, then when punya currency is over, that person disappears from that. Like how your mobile, when charge is over, the mobile stops working. Similarly, this charge, this is exactly like that. So every time you have Ramba Urvasi dance, 10 units gone. Some Amrita glass is given, 50 units gone. So like that, and your units of punyam. When that units is over, the mobile is discharged. Person is thrown away. That person doesn't grow old. There is no old age problem. The person is hospitalized and all, not that. So person remains young, but when this punya currency is over, disappears. Nivartante, come back to Coimbatore or Bangalore or whatever, wherever you are. Person comes back. Whereas having attained this Paramatma, Abhyakta, Param Abhyakta, na nivartante, and Bhagavan says, Tadhama Paramam Mama. That is my abode. This Abhyakta number 2, Bhagavan says, that is my abode. And when we hear this word Dhama, abode, we always think there must be a place, very good place, where Bhagavan will be staying. So Abhyakta must be a place, and Bhagavan has got a very beautiful place, which is called Abhyakta. Like, I don't know, here also it happens, that a contractor, he builds 10 floors, and on the top there will be penthouse. That he occupies. So similarly, Bhagavan will be occupying that penthouse. So don't think like that. So it is not Parandhama in a literal sense. Here Dhama has got the meaning Swarupam. Bhagavan says this Abhyakta number 2, existence, consciousness, which is Brahman, that is my nature. And the saving grace is, that is your nature too. Whatever is the nature of Paramatma, Ishvara, that is your nature too. That is what is revealed by Tattvamasi. And therefore, you discover that Paramatma, that Brahman to be your nature, then you are free. You don't have to depend upon anyone to be free. This is the greatness of Vedanta. He said, you don't have to become free. You are already free. Even if you have a fight with Guru, still your freedom will not go away. Otherwise, Guru will say, give my freedom back. Guru also cannot take your freedom back. That's why when Swamiji in Rishikesh, he used to tell, in Brahma Vidya, Guru Dakshina is taken first. advance. Right? But after Guru Dakshina, you cannot take it back. He said Guru and Shishya are one only. So this is a joke apart. So Brahman is Satchidananda Brahman is the nature of Jiva as well. My nature too. And having attained which, non-nivartante, a person does not come back. Some people say, Swamiji, I want to come back. Some people may say, Swamiji, why are you giving so much importance not coming back, not coming back? Okay, if you want to come back, you will definitely come back. That is guaranteed. Because you want to come back means you have got some vasana, some ragadvesha for settling the account. Some people say, Swamiji, I want to become a pilot next Janma. Then only Swamiji I will get moksha. Then you will definitely come back. Because your desire to come back will bring you back. Moksha is not like a force on you. So if you don't want moksha, moksha will never come to you. That is for sure. And therefore, a person, if he has a desire, if you have a desire to come back, don't be afraid of attending Vedanta classes. Don't say that, oh, if I attend Vedanta classes, by chance I get moksha. No, your this non-moksha is guaranteed. Why? Because moksha is possible only when you do not have any desire to come. Therefore, moksha will not forcefully come. Don't worry about it. Moksha comes, even if you want, it doesn't come so easily. So, I mean, from a Vyavarika standpoint, moksha is your nature. But owning up of moksha doesn't happen even if you wish. You require certain sadhana for that. You require to take care of certain factors. Then only you can claim this moksha. And therefore, you need not be afraid. This is this side note. Now, in the next shloka, Bhagavan is telling how to attain this Paramatma, this Brahman, which is Avyakta number 2. How to attain? He says, Purusassa parah partha bhaktyalabhyastvananyaya yasyantasthani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. So in this shloka, Bhagavan is going to say this Purusha, this Avyakta, the Maha Avyakta, Param Avyakta, which is called Brahman, is attainable through bhakti. So what is the meaning of bhakti? We will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti